You know, for thousands of years, humans have been drawn to certain places, certain structures, these incredible monuments that just seem to defy time itself. And, well, there's probably none more iconic, more mysterious than that silent circle of stones on Salisbury Plain.
For 5,000 years, Stonehenge has just stood there, a silent witness to history. But it's so much more than a pile of really old rocks, right? It's become this global icon, a symbol of mystery, of endurance, and our connection to a past that is just incredibly deep. And that connection, it's totally alive today. So much so that it's woven into our modern culture, even our internet memes. I absolutely love this Reddit post, joking that modern druids are the secret heroes behind daylight saving time. It's hilarious, but it also shows you just how much these ancient places still have a real grip on our imagination. Which really brings us to the heart of it all. Why this obsession? What do these ancient landscapes, these monuments, really mean to us today? And, maybe more importantly, how are brand new ideas and incredible new technologies completely changing the way we see and even experience the past?
Okay, so the first piece of the puzzle is a huge shift in thinking. Archaeologists are starting to look beyond just the stones themselves. They're trying to read the entire environment around them to see these places just like their builders did. This whole approach is called landscape archaeology, and what's so cool about it is the difference between space and place. It's not just about mapping out a neutral space. No, it's about understanding a meaningful place, a location that was intentionally shaped to tell a story, to guide your experience, and yeah, to project power. There's this fantastic metaphor that I think just nails it. A researcher described the landscape as a palimpsest. You know, like an old piece of parchment that's been written on, then scraped clean, and written on again over and over. Each generation leaves its mark, creating all these layers of meaning that we can now learn to read. So, how does a landscape actually do that? Well, think about it. If you're an ancient ruler, building a huge monument physically connects your power to the land itself and to the ancestors you say are buried there. You could control where people walked, what they saw, what they felt. You were literally shaping a shared identity for your whole community. It was a seriously powerful tool. And look, this isn't just a Stonehenge thing, not at all. Take a look at the incredible royal tombs of the Daegaya kingdom over in Korea. They weren't just plopped down anywhere. They were built on the highest mountain ridges to totally dominate the valley below. It was a statement you couldn't miss, visible for miles around. This land is ours. Our power comes from here. It's the exact same idea, just a world away. All right, so we have a new way of thinking about the past. But what about actually seeing it? Well, that's where the second part of our story kicks in. We are now using some frankly unbelievable new tech to digitally restore and experience these lost worlds in ways that were pure science fiction just a few years back. Check this out. This is Seoul's Dongwon Gate, or actually where it used to be. The gate was completely torn down in 1915. It's gone. But today, you can go stand on that exact spot, hold up your phone, and through augmented reality, you see it rebuilt, right there, in full scale. It's like a ghost from the past brought back to life. And this tech can also resurrect places we only know from old records. This was the Hwangyong-sa Temple in Korea, once this magnificent structure, but it was destroyed 800 years ago. Using old texts and archaeological clues, researchers have built a complete 3D model. We can now virtually walk through an architectural masterpiece that literally doesn't exist anymore. But it's not just about bringing things back from the past. It's also about preserving what we still have. This is the famous Borobudur Temple in Indonesia, a World Heritage Site that's under constant threat from volcanoes. So using lasers, they've created a perfect digital twin, a 3D point cloud so detailed it captures every single crack. If the worst happens, we have a perfect blueprint to rebuild. And this is a global effort. Groups like SciArc are on this amazing mission to digitally scan and archive 500 of the world's most at-risk heritage sites. They're essentially building a digital lifeboat for our shared history, trying to save it from war, climate change, and just the slow march of time. So all of this sounds pretty incredible, right? We can read the landscape like a book and rebuild lost worlds inside a computer, but there's a catch. Having this amazing technology is one thing. Getting people to actually engage with it, well, that's a whole other story. 3. Just 3. What on earth do you think that number represents? Go on, take a guess. 3 what? That's the number of times the public actually used a super high-tech VR experience of Korea's famous Sakuraram Grotto. A project that cost over $500,000 was used 3 times. Wow, that's a pretty epic failure of engagement. And when you look at dozens of these digital heritage projects, a really clear pattern pops out. The huge majority of them, we're talking projects using VR, AR, 3D scanning, they all require you to physically be at the site to use them. Almost none of them are just, available online for anyone in the world to see. So the research highlights some really big problems. We're pouring tons of money into things that almost nobody uses. The content is often locked away, hard to get to. It's ironic, right? We're building these amazing digital worlds, but we often forget to build a door that everyone can actually open. So where does all this leave us? We've got these ancient monuments that completely fascinate us. We've got these powerful new ways of understanding what they meant, and we have this incredible tech to bring them back to life. It all points to one big idea. Our relationship with the past is not some dusty history lesson. It's a living, breathing, ongoing conversation. At the end of the day, a place like Stonehenge isn't just a static ruin. It's a story. And like all the greatest stories, it gets retold and reimagined by every single generation. Each one of us adds our own chapter, our own meaning, our own technology to it. You can really see this whole cycle play out. First, someone builds a monument to shape their world. Then, centuries go by and the original meaning just fades away into mystery. So then we come up with new ideas like landscape archaeology to try and decode it. Then we invent wild new tools like VR to see it with fresh eyes. And through it all, the story just keeps evolving, from the original builders to modern Druids to some person on Reddit making a joke. Ultimately, the past isn't something we just find. It's something we're actively creating and recreating all the time. These stones, these landscapes, they're the parchment, and we're still writing on them. And that leaves us with a pretty cool question to think about. If this is our chapter of the story, what will tomorrow's version be?